Welcome to the Power of Offense with Keith and Rodney. And I'm your host, Keith. And right below me on the screen is Rodney.
Greetings.
And today we're going to discuss digital rights. So we're going to define digital rights. And we're also going to discuss how YouTubers can protect themselves by understanding what digital rights are. All right. Now, the reason why this is such a hot topic, something like digital rights, is because of this lawsuit that was filed by Jessica, aka Miss Average at Best, against the popular YouTuber and image consultant Kevin Samuels. Now, we have two videos where we actually reviewed aspects of the claims and allegations that are being made against Kevin Samuels by Jessica. And one of the things that we have discovered that could have avoided this lawsuit would have been if Kevin Samuels would have understood exactly how to protect himself, right, when dealing with others' digital rights. Now, before we get started, let us give you our disclaimer that we are not attorneys at law. We're not here teaching you law or practicing law. Here at the Power of Offense, we entertain you with legal commentary from a layman's point of view. All right. So we're going to get into this, y'all. We're going to get into this subject of digital rights. Now, as you can see on your screen, I typed in define digital rights. Now, there's no formal or official definition for digital rights. But we do have a description of what digital rights should be, or what it is deemed to be, shall I say, in Wikipedia. And right here it says digital rights, right? Matter of fact, let me highlight it for you. It says digital rights are those human rights and legal rights that allow individuals to access, use, create, and publish digital media, or to access and use computers, other electronic devices, and telecommunications networks. All right. Now, this is what Wikipedia is saying about it. Now, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to scroll down, and I found a definition out of a technology website. And I'm going to click on it. I think this definition provides even better detail on what digital rights are. It says digital rights are the rights of individuals as it pertains to computer access and the ability to use, create, and publish digital media. Digital rights can also refer to allow permissions for fair use of digital copyrighted materials. Digital rights are extensions of human rights like freedom of expression and the right to privacy. The extent to which digital rights are recognized varies from country to country, but internet access is recognized or is a recognized right in several countries. So yes, here in the United States of America, internet access is definitely a recognized right. People have the right to surf the net, right? Just like you have the right to privacy, right? And again, the entire or the proper cause of action that Jessica would seek against Kevin Samuels would seem to be a violation of her privacy, right? And we covered that in the two previous videos. So again, we personally think that this technology website provides a much more in-depth and a better definition to what digital rights are. So we wanted to lay out there exactly what we're referring to. We're referring to the rights of individuals as it pertains to their ability to use, create, and publish digital media. All right. Now, we found an article. Now, this article is called Organizing Photos, right? And it's by the Swedish organizer. So we're going to take a look at this article and what they have to say, right? The Swedish organizer has to say about digital rights. Now, are you signing away your digital rights? I think that's an awesome question to ask. I think that's something that we all should not only ask, but we need to answer, right? Are we signing away our digital rights? Now, it says this past week, I attended the Association of Personal Photo Organizers' 4th annual conference in Anaheim, California, and there was one topic that stood out in my mind as a perfect blog post: your digital rights as a consumer. My colleagues Mary and Jackie made some very important points about how we should all pay more attention to what we are putting online and why. This is actually a topic that a lot of people don't think about or even don't look into very often. I mean, who really reads the terms of service contract, right? I know I'm guilty of skipping through it on more than one occasion, but perhaps we should care. And yes, we really should. I'm going to answer that question. Yes, we should really care. We should know what we're signing up for. All right. Now, in this article, the Swedish organizer defines digital rights. Again, there's no formal definition for digital rights. You know what I mean? So you're going to get variations of what digital rights are, but as long as we understand the foundation of what's being said, then we know digital rights is your ability to use, create, and control your digital media, right? Now, what are digital rights? Every photo service or online cloud service you sign up with will have a terms of service agreement. Usually, you have to put a little check mark in a box and agree that you will use the service according to their rules. But who really reads it? Me, starting right now, and I think you should too. It's extremely important that you look into what you are really giving them permission to do. So let's get to the bottom of this. All right. Now, I agree. Let's get to the bottom of what we're giving these digital platforms permission to do. All right. With our digital rights and our digital media. All right. Now, it says ownership of your content. It says, let's start with the basics. Copyright. Who owns the copyright to a photo? Well, in most cases, it's the creator, unless it's a work for hire or copyright has been released in writing. That generally means the photographer who took it, no matter the subject in the photo itself. As we were in Anaheim, my colleague gave a great example with Disney. If you sign up for their PhotoPass service, you can simply hand your PhotoPass card to any official photographer in the park, and they will snap your picture. You are then able to view and download all of your photos after the fact in one handy account. As the designated family photographer, I rarely get to actually be in the photos, so I have to compliment Disney on the ingenuity. It's brilliant. It's a cash cow for them and an extremely convenient service for their guests. Now, I love Disney as a company, but I don't love their terms of service agreement, so let's take a look at it. All right, so we're going to take a look at Disney's term of service agreement. Now, it says number 1, online storage. You have to download all photos within 45 days or they will expire. And this is quoted from the Walt Disney Company's PhotoPass terms of service agreement, right here. It says Disney does not offer options for permanent storing of photos or other digital content. Expired photos and other digital content will be deleted from the system. It says they do make this clear up front, and it makes perfect sense considering the sheer volume of visitors they have in the parks, so I don't raise my eyebrows too much at this statement. You can purchase an extension, but only for up to until 60 days. In other words, download the photos ASAP. But no big deal, moving on. All right. So right here, it says number 2, copyright and licensing, right? It says, this is the part I'm concerned about. In all honesty, Disney photographers actually took the photo, which means they own the copyright. It's my educated guess that Disney has a work for hire deal with these photographers so that they own the photo. In any case, it's not your photo, and the copyright holder can do what they want with it. Disney's policy on this also extends to the online world. If you post something on their sites, right, they will be able to use it however they please. Look at what you're giving them permission to do. Now, this is the important part. This is the part that we really want to get to in this discussion, right? about digital rights and how content creators like Rod and myself here at the Power of Offense, how we can all protect ourselves. So content providers on YouTube, right? Listen to me clearly. There are ways for you to protect yourself from being sued from showing other people content such as their image and likeness. And we're going to get into that. All right. Now, this is where it gets interesting. It says, quoted from Walt Disney's company's term of service agreement. Right here, it says, as a matter of fact, let me highlight it since it's the text, the text is in gray. All right, it says, we do not claim ownership to your user-generated content, right? However, you grant us a non-exclusive, sub-licensable, irrevocable, and royalty-free worldwide license under all copyrights, trademarks, patents, trade secrets, privacy and publicity rights, and other intellectual property rights to use, reproduce, transmit, print, publish, publicly display, exhibit, distribute, redistribute, copy, index, comment on, modify, adapt, translate, create derivative works based upon publicly perform, make available, and otherwise exploit such user-generated content in whole or in part in all media formats and channels are now known or hereafter devised, including in connection with Disney services and on third-party sites and platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, in any number of copies and without limit as to time, manner, and frequency of use, without further notice to you, with or without attribution, and without the requirement of permission from or payment to you or any other person or entity. So in other words, what Walt Disney is saying is that you own your content, right? That you're actually putting on their servers. You own the content. However, you grant them the right to use your stuff without paying you. This is what you're agreeing to sum it all up. Am I right, Rodney?
Yeah, they just use a whole bunch of words. Yeah, but that's pretty much what they're saying.
Now, right here, it says, in other words, they can do anything with it, including selling it, copying it, or making a movie out of it. Use your imagination. They don't have to pay you, credit you, or even let you know about it. Yikes. Makes you think, doesn't it? Because this policy is sneakily hidden in the global terms of service agreement and nowhere near the PhotoPass frequently asked questions is not easy to come across, and it's a great example of how you might get the rug pulled out from underneath you without even realizing it. Copyright is a complex topic, but if you're unsure of who owns a photo, assume that it's most likely the person who took it. When companies as big as Disney, you can bet your money that they cast a pretty wide net. So caution advised, especially if you have children. Now, I find that very, very interesting, right? And I think this is, again, extremely important for people to know, especially as content creators on YouTube, right? So the person that's taking the photo, or the person that took the photo, right, or the person that is initiating the live feed of a video is the one that typically owns the copyright to that image, right? So with that being the case, the argument can be made by Jessica, aka Miss Average at Best, right, that her image and likeness was being used improperly because she never consented to it. Now, again, in the previous videos, we talked about consent. I raised the fact that I believe that implied consent existed, but of course, it's up to the courts to determine.
Yeah.
Up to them to determine. Now, right here, it says, what if you really do own your copyright? It says, who will own it once it's uploaded to an online service? Are you transmitting the copyright by uploading your image? In most cases, no. But you may be striking a licensing deal without even realizing. realizing it. Ever heard of a little company called Amazon? Well, they now have a cloud service for your photos. Here's the deal they want you to make with them. And it says quoted. Now, this is quoted from Amazon's Terms of Service Agreement, right? And I'm going to highlight this again because the text is in gray. It says, if you do post content or submit material, and unless we indicate otherwise, you grant Amazon a non-exclusive, royalty-free, perpetual, irrevocable, and fully sub-licensable right to use, reproduce, modify, adapt, publish, perform, translate, create derivative works from, distribute, and display such content throughout the world in any media. You grant Amazon and sub-licensees the right to use the name that you submit in connection with such content if they choose. Now, let's talk about that. You know, and I find that very interesting because, again, when you participate in service agreements like this, right, then you waive your right of publicity, right, to receive any type of revenue, remuneration, pay, whatever you choose to call it, from your image and likeness, right? When you, if you choose to use their services, this is what you're waiving. These are waiver statements for those who don't know what that is, right? Now, matter of fact, let me show a definition of waiver. Now, I think most people know what a waiver is, but I think this also would be kind of cool. Let's just show what a waiver is. Now, a waiver, right, is a document recording the waiving of a right or claim. Now, again, in most states, people have the right of publicity, meaning they have the right to be compensated, right, to receive revenue, pay, right, from their image and likeness. But if you sign a waiver, right, if you consent to a waiver, right, in most cases expressed, which will be written, but in some cases, if it's implied, right, then you are waiving your right to be compensated. So again, we find this important because Jessica, aka Miss Average at Best, is saying that she never waived her right to be compensated, right? She never waived her right to receive anything. Matter of fact, she's saying that she never even agreed to her image and likeness being used by Kevin in the public. This is basically what she's saying. So she's trying to say that there is a violation of her privacy, right? And she's essentially saying that she never signed a waiver. A waiver don't exist where she actually did waive her right to her image and likeness. That's what she's attempting to say. Now, back to the article. So the Swedish organizer says that's a heck of a deal for them, right? Not so much for you. Fortunately, a gazillion others, users, right, have probably already made the same deal with them. So the chances of them actually using your content are slim, but it's still pretty scary stuff. Now, Google has the same type of terms of service agreement, right? Now, we're going to read it real quick. Just real quick. And then we're pretty much going to move on from this article, because the point of us reading this is we wanted to point out the fact, right, that the best way to prevent potential lawsuits for using other people's image and likeness, especially as YouTube content creators, right, it's best to have some form of waiver statement within your video, right? So here we go. This is quoted from Google's Terms of Service. It says, some of our services allow you to upload, submit, store, send, or receive content. You retain ownership of any intellectual property rights that you hold in that content. In short, what belongs to you stays yours. When you upload submit, store, send, or receive content to or through our services, you give Google and those we work with a worldwide license to use, host, store, reproduce, modify, create derivative works, such as those resulting from translations, adaptations, or other changes we make so that your content works better with our services, communicate, publish, publicly perform, publicly display, and distribute such content. It says the rights you grant in this license are for the limited purpose of operating, promoting, and improving our services and to develop new ones. This license continues even if you stop using our services. For example, for a business listing you have added to Google Maps. Some services may offer you ways to access and remove content that has been provided to that service. Also, in some of our services, there are terms or settings that narrow the scope of our use of the content submitted in those services. Make sure you have the necessary rights to grant us this license for any content that you submit to our services. Now, one thing you want to notice in common is that Walt Disney, Amazon, as well as Google is telling you that your content belongs to you, right? It's your content, but we're saying that you grant us the right to use your content, right, in any form or fashion that we choose. This is basically what they're saying, and that we can profit off of it, we can make money off of it, but we do not owe you anything from those profits. All right. Now, in one instance, that is some pretty scary stuff, right? But I also like that being a content creator here on YouTube. I actually like the fact that we could capture right here at the Powerful Offense other people's image and likeness, right? And that we can use their image and likeness in the ways that we see fit and profit off of it without them receiving a dime from it. Let's just call it what it is. I think that's awesome, right? But of course, the proper way to do it is for them, right, to sign a waiver, right? Now, signing a waiver, right, is the best way to do it. But also, the waiver can be verbal, it can be a statement that flash across the screen that if you participate in this live broadcast, your content, you grant us the right to use your content for us to use it in any form or fashion we see fit, and that even if we make money off your content, that basically we don't owe you anything from it. That is a possibility. And in essence, that's what we're saying, or what we're trying to relay, that all content creators that show people image and likeness should be doing, right? Can you agree to that, Rodney?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Absolutely. So
I actually wanted to do something. Because I found, matter of fact, let me scroll up. I'm gonna go right back to Walt Disney, right? Because I like how Walt Disney stated how they made this statements in the terms of service agreement. And I just want to show like other YouTubers just how easy they can actually come up with their own statement if they so choose. Now, of course, if you feel like you need an attorney to help you with this, definitely seek an attorney's advice. But this is something, in my opinion, that just anybody can do. I mean, we could take the languages that already exist and we can create our own statement to suit our purpose. This is what I feel like any content creator on YouTube can do, Now, I found a statement also. Let's take a look at this. This statement came from Instagram. I thought this was kind of cool. Can you see the statement, Rodney? The full statement?
It says your own. Yeah, you own your own photos, right? Instagram's own that statement.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that our image on the screen is not blocking the statement.
No, it's not blocking that statement.
Oh, it's not? Okay. So yeah, it says basically on your image, right? Instagram claims it does not take ownership of its users' content. It says, but the terms state that the user grants Instagram and it's in quotes, non-exclusive, right? So this means it's not exclusive to Instagram. This means that you can actually grant other platforms the same rights to use your content. It says fully paid, which means that Instagram can get paid off of it, royalty free, right? Which means they owe you no royalties. Transferable, sub-licensable, worldwide license to use their content, or to use your content, shall I say. So I'm gonna copy this statement, right? All right, let me go back. Now, what I'm doing is I'm taking these statements and I'm pasting it into Word. That's what I'm doing, y'all. Now I'm about to show the screen so you can see what I have. All right, you should be able to see the Word document. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right, here we go. So, all right, I just pulled this from the Walt Disney statement as well as Instagram statement. And it says, we do not claim ownership of your user-generated content. However, you grant, and then I'm gonna put us, non-exclusive, fully paid and royalty-free, transferable, sub-licensable, worldwide license to use and create, to use, I'm gonna put your content. So I'm gonna change there to your. And let me fix the text so it can look neat and uniform. All right, there we go. So what I want to do is I'm gonna turn this into a statement that that could be used by a YouTuber like Kevin Samuels, you know. So I'm gonna use Kevin Samuels' name. All right, waiver.
Fair use.
Yep, fair use. All right, and I'm gonna change user-generated content to, I'm just going to say simply content. Then we'll put image, likeness.
Those like IE, you put like IE, so that way they know you're giving those as examples.
I like that even better. Image, likeness, and I'm gonna put audio.
Yeah, you could put like image, likeness, comma, audio, or
etc.
or the like.
Okay. Comma, audio, and I put or the like.
Yeah, so anything similar to that, anything like what you just described, this is fair game.
Yeah. Yep. And then, however, you put participants in this broadcast grants.
However, by participating in the however you participate in the broadcast, yeah.
Okay. It's looking okay to you,
yeah.
right? Okay.
So, like, would you saying that like by participate, like the mere fact that you on the show, whether you talking or your image is being used?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So by participating in the broadcast, something like that.
Okay. You by participating
in my broadcast or this broadcast, yeah, I like that.
Okay. No. Participating in this broadcast.
How about that?
This? All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's read it to him. It says, waiver.
And even put waiver in red so that way to catch their eye. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. I like that a lot. Red, and I'm a bold waiver.
Yeah.
So something like this could easily go in Kevin Samuels' videos. So it will be waiver. Kevin Samuels do not claim ownership to your content. Examples, image, likeness, audio, or the like. However, you, by participating in this broadcast, grant Kevin Samuels non-exclusive, fully paid, and royalty-free, transferable, sub-licensable worldwide license to use your content. Now, a waiver like that, flashing up in this video, as well as Kevin telling people to read the waiver. Like, I have a waiver, you need to read it. Kevin put this in his video. He can even put it in the description of his video, right? And he states that he has a waiver. This will completely protect him from situations like what he's experiencing from Jessica, aka Miss Average at Best. What do you think about that, Rodney?
Yeah, I agree. He only had to say, he only had to tell him to read. You know what I'm saying? Just tell him that a waiver exists.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Or show, because I'm not sure how the live thing worked, right?
Right.
But say, for example, if a person subscribe, I guess you send them an email, something like that. Is that how it worked for them to come on live?
No, whenever you're on Zoom, right? Like we're on right now.
Yeah.
If we were broadcasting live via Zoom, all we have to do is just send out the link, and people would just go to the link on YouTube in the chat room.
That statement would be inside the email that you send that on to.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that way, that's the paper trail. Right. So if a person because I think they kind of not really tacky, but that don't just running across your screen. You know what I'm saying? So if you add this statement in whatever they receive to come aboard, you know what I'm saying? So if anything they have to click, you know what I'm saying, via email, this is at the bottom.
It'll be in the chat room.
If they have to read it, you ain't got to say nothing about it.
Right.
So once they click it, right there, that statement is then. So all you got to do is say, this is my email blast that we send to everyone that subscribed to us, everyone that participates to it. This is the email that's sent. Even if the link is shared. Right. You know, so if the link is shared, it's still part of the whole email. So this waiver right here, if I was Kevin Samuels, add this to whatever however he reached his audience, for them to click to join his broadcast, this should be attached to that statement when they click it.
I agree.
Then it wouldn't be a lawsuit.
I agree 100%.
Then his counterclaim would come into part. You know what I'm saying? What would come into play. So when he said there's a counterclaim, to me, he doesn't have a counterclaim because he doesn't have this. So
I'm gonna say this. He's saying I'm gonna say what I got from when he brought up the counterclaim. He's saying that these women are calling him homosexual, of which he's not, and they don't have any proof to call him that. Him being a heterosexual man. You know what I'm saying? So his counterclaim will be based upon slander.
Slander, because they saying that they have to battle that out.
Right.
I was talking about for the use of the image.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you could claim for abusive process. The fact that you have to defend is a counterclaim because you're wasting your time.
Because of the waiver.
You can get your money back, but you cannot get time back unless you're special and understand certain things of the universe. If you can't do that, you're not gonna get your time back.
Right.
So if he's making that argument, I didn't know that they was talking about him, but I kind of heard him say it, but then once you reminded me of it, that's true. So that's a he doesn't even have to counterclaim that. He can bring up a whole nother claim. You know what I'm saying? But it'd be cheaper to counterclaim that. So I get it.
Yeah.
If that's his argument.
Yeah, he did say that. Now, hey Rodney, I do have something that I put together. You haven't even seen this. Matter of fact, I haven't even told you about this. But I'm gonna say fair use because I do want everyone to see it. And do you see the video on the screen?
I do.
You do? Okay. I'm gonna say fair use, and I'm gonna play this. Play this real quick. There you go.
In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right.
Hello.
Now, I wanted to play this because I just basically took one of the videos that he's done that Kevin Samuels have published recently. And I just basically took a variation of the same statement and put it in the video. Now, again, he doesn't have to do it this way because it doesn't look as professional to do it this way. And I definitely believe that it would still work perfectly if he put it, because again, for these women to go into his Zoom, right? He's putting a link to the Zoom inside of his chat room on the YouTube video. He can put the waiver in there with the link in the chat room. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Give a visual of how it could look in a video also.
Yeah. And then that's the same as just blurring out the person, because the person's image is really pretty much blurred, but not the context of her voice, by which section 2, article 220, he's calling an article, but it's section 230. Yeah, 230. That he's 220. He's saying 230 protects the voice. So even if you block the image, 230 would protect the voice likeness use.
Well, it goes away. This is just so people can see it long enough to read it.
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
See?
I'm blessed by.
Yeah, so it goes away. But the point, all of our listeners, the point that Rodney and I are trying to make here, the Power of Offense, is that there's ways to protect yourself from potential litigation for things like invasion of privacy or violation or breaching someone's privacy, of which Jessica, aka Miss Average Best, is claiming that Kevin Samuels did to her. So in essence, what we're saying is that the best thing that Kevin could have done was had a waiver statement somewhere in his video, somewhere in the feed, the live feed, right? Where these women would know that they're waiving their rights to the image and likeness, although they own that, and that Kevin can use that to get paid from it and doesn't have to compensate them or pay them anything.
Right. So you can tell that he didn't have anything like that by the way he responded with the other brother. Was Donovan?
Yeah, Donovan Sharp.
Yeah, with the other brother that he was speaking to. You could tell that he didn't have a waiver statement, you know what I'm saying? because he's kind of arguing against it.
Right.
But like as he said, in the court of law, they go by law, but they also go by facts.
Yes, they do.
So those are the two things. In addition, actually, they go by facts first.
Right.
And then because they want to hear first they hear the claim, what you're claiming, and then they take your claim and they break it down to what facts you prove. And then from the facts, they apply the law. So he jumped all the way to the law. But they're dealing with facts. And I believe it may be a fact that you use her image without a waiver statement. That's a fact. So the fact that that's a fact, they're going to apply the law. And once they apply the law, they're going to come, that's going to be the conclusions of their facts, which is going to be the law applied.
Right. Yep. And I agree with you 100% on that, Rodney. You know what I'm saying? And it's important as content creators. It's important for all people to understand what digital rights are, but it's important for us content creators to understand what it is and how we can protect ourselves from future litigation.
Play this video. Is this a woman that's talking to him?
Yeah, this is a woman.
Oh, let me see that, John.
Yep.
Beth.
What do you got for me?
Well, there was someone that follows you. And he asked me, we were in his live, and he asked me, had I heard of someone named Kevin Samuels?
All right, I cut it off right there.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I cut it off right there. You know, but the point, you know what I mean? I just want to drive the point home that, again, you know, we're looking at terms of service agreements from major corporations, Fortune 500s, you know what I mean? Walt Disney, Amazon, Google, Instagram. These people have attorneys that write this stuff. And the reason why they wrote this stuff is to protect them from the same type of issue that Kevin Samuels is facing with Jessica, aka Miss Average at Best. So the best thing to do as content creators is to have a waiver statement somewhere in your live broadcast where your participants know that if they're participating in that live broadcast with their image or likeness or the like, right, anything of that such, that they are granting you permission to use it how you see fit to use it and for your financial gain or your advantage. So
Right. Yeah. Because basically, like, we all know that her lawsuit and the other woman's lawsuit is rooted from their feelings being hurt.
right.
But that doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they can go from their feelings being hurt to image and likeness claim.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it pays how to treat people. I mean, this is a valuable lesson here in more than one aspect. One, to protect yourself, and two, learn how to treat people to where they won't be vindictive within their spirit to do something against you later on. But all this is pretty much rooted in that she became vindictive whenever she was embarrassed, and she turned her embarrassment, and she turned the fact, or she's turning the fact, or attempting to turn the fact that she was embarrassed and
into damages.
Yeah, exactly. She's trying to turn it into damages. You know what I'm saying? And using the law, you know what I'm saying, against him, and using the fact that she was embarrassed, and using the fact that her feelings are hurt. You know, she's converting all that to, like Kevin Samuels ran to the back of it, like she was sitting at a stop sign.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's about to turn it into damages if presented properly and defended properly.
I agree 100%. You know,
And this little statement, 3 sentences. Probably how many words? 50 words. I haven't even counted them. Less than 50 words.
40 words.
40, yeah, 40 words.
Yep.
So, yeah, there you go, right there, 40 words. Yeah, it's still less than 50.
You right.
Less than 50 words could have alleviated something simple and basic as this. Not elaborate. The lawyer won't. It's nothing that a lawyer, but it covers everything.
Right.
You know, it will cover you and protect you in court against Ben Matlock. Perry Mason couldn't pierce this 3 sentence, 40 letter waiver statement. But you can get elaborate as you choose, just to cover more, just to broaden your statement.
Yep. Exactly. So again, all of the listeners, if you don't feel comfortable writing your own statement, we just showed you how easily you can do it. But if you don't feel comfortable doing it, hire an attorney, get it done by an attorney at law. Other than that, we just showed you again how you could do it. So, and this is not legal advice. This is just an education, something for you to research, to see if what we said is accurate. But he just showed you how the big Fortune 500 companies are using, and the Fortune 500 companies are not attorneys. So we kind of like 1 + 1 = 2. You're right. Yeah. So again, everyone, please share, like, and subscribe. We'd like to thank everyone for listening. This was another hot broadcast by the Power of Offense with Keith and Rodney.
Excellent.
Peace.
All right, peace.